Hi, everyone, and welcome to the What is Woman podcast. This looks a little different because, first and foremost, you can see our faces.
Yeah.
So, we are actually, I'm going to say, on location. So, we are here at St Gertrude the Great, and we're doing the podcast a little bit differently because we missed a week, and we had kind of an idea to show everybody what it's like at St Gertrude the Great. And Bishop McGuire is actually going to take us on a tour and show off the church and all the beautiful statues. And yeah.
Okay, so inside the church, it's beautiful. It's huge. They've saved so many statues. Like the amount. Like, can you just imagine?
Yeah.
The restoration and the saving, and God bless all these men and women who, when they were doing the destruction, when they were pulling out altar rails, and they were just literally destroying statues.
Mm-hmm.
They were throwing them in the garbage.
Mm-hmm.
These fine people of our past were, running around, gathering these statues, saving them from destruction. And here they are at St. Gertrude's. I mean, we have some at our church, nothing like this.
So we thought it would be nice to show everybody and do something a little different this week. So we really hope that you will enjoy this tour as much as we're going to. And we just thought it'd be something great for Catholic Family Podcast. So we're going to go meet Bishop McGuire, and we are going to head on our tour.
Well, here we are, all the kids, all the people. So this is St. Gertrude's. We're in the vestibule here, and I'll show you some of the pictures. This picture actually right here is of St. Gertrude, one of our former parishioners. She has since died. She painted this for the church. And so we've kept it ever since. And we've got this is our queen of St. Gertrude's, Our Lady of Good Counsel. Of course, the story behind our devotion to her is actually back in, it's actually 2009 or so. We were having some really quite bad financial problems here at the church. And one of the parishioners, Charlie Henry, his wife, mentioned this devotion and that she would take care of all of our financial needs. So Bishop Dolan started the 12 Sundays to our Mother of Good Counsel, and then asked, one of the intentions was for all of our financial needs here, and ever since then we've been good. So she's our mother, always looking out for us.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
What year was the church built?
Well, I was the first ordination here. That was 2005. So I want to say it was probably 2-3 years before that. I don't remember the exact year.
Yeah.
But it was around, I want to say around 2003 or so, something like that.
And was it built exactly as it is now, or has it been added to?
This in stages. The two outside walls of the cloister weren't here originally. So that came over time. But everything else, the school down here, the social hall, that was all originally built.
That's pretty big project.
Took quite a long time.
I can see why we need a good counsel.
Yeah.
Financial.
But she's come through for so many things for us. Mother of Good Counsel.
Yeah.
So in fact, Bishop Nkamuki chose that for that reason, partly for that reason, for his Episcopal coat of arms. Because, yeah, well, they're good counsel. So that's it for. We've got our little history. We keep all of these. Obviously, Pope Pius XII, but this is essentially our episcopal lineage here. So we keep them all here. Now, as I'm giving this tour, I'm not going to remember their names. Well, that's Archbishop Tuck, obviously. He did so much good for traditional movement. Archbishop Lefebvre, although we don't, agree with the SSPX position, he actually did quite a lot of good. I mean, he ordained most of our priests.
Right.
Bishop Sanborn, Bishop Dolan, Father Cicada. So he's up here as sort of a part of our history. And then Bishop Carmona, I believe that's Bishop Carmona from Mexico. Of course, Bishop Dolan. And then down the line through the 3 new bishops, we can skip the first one, that's me. Bishop Rodrigo de Silva in Brazil. He was actually consecrated by Bishop Dolan. And then Bishop Nkamoki in Nigeria. And then, of course, our Father Cicada.
So many people come from tradition because of the books, right?
The
It's Father
books,
Cicada.
so many people.
Yeah, right, so many.
Yeah. No, in fact, his book on the work of human hands,
Yes.
that was actually, the Italians promoted that. Oh, it was on one of the feasts of St. Peter, and in Rome.
Right.
In Rome.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's known even
I
right there in the modernist.
I hear it
modernist
all the
Rome.
time. People say, well, I read Father Cicada's book.
Yeah.
Because you get around and talk to a lot of people. And so, I mean, many rewards in heaven, I'm sure, for that.
Yes, he's done a lot of good.
Yeah.
Okay, so into the church we go. We have probably about, I would say, the church has grown quite a bit since COVID, basically. And so I'd say we had roughly 300 then. We're probably closer to 4 now. A lot of new families have moved here. Your family. So we're closer to 4 now, I think. So we'll go around the church a little this way. This is our little devotional corner for all the children. The Bishop Dolan put together, of course, the Infant and the Sacred Heart, the Guardian Angels, and a beautiful devotion here, El Niño Doctor. There's a story of how he appeared to some little child in Mexico and healed him against, the doctors all said that the kid couldn't be healed, but he did. So it's more of a modern devotion, I would say, in the 1900s. Not officially approved, but it's one of those where one of the diocese in Mexico, before the council, was really promoting this devotion. So it's not officially approved by the church like the Sacred Heart, but nonetheless, that's how devotions get started. And this one is actually very powerful. One of our oblates has, this is her name, Sister Eulalia of the Holy Child Jesus, Doctor of the Sick. So, and we put him in charge of all of our sick people. So, try not to trip over this cord. We've got St. John here, and St. Philomena, of course, but then St. Francis de Sales. He's one of our families here. The Arlinghouse family did a lot of the touch-up on this, the painting of the lace and everything. But he's the patron of the Archdiocese here in Cincinnati. So he's a very special one for us. We just did a Lent on him. And so we've got St. Francis de Sales, St. Cunegunda. I don't know much about her. I'm ashamed to say. But this is St. Cunegunda. So, Cunegunda.
Well, that is going to take some study.
Yeah.
You might have to go home and read the book.
Everyone's going to have to go home and read a book now. Of course, St. Pius X. And I forgot to mention the ones up here. So we've the ones along the wall here. St. Gerard Magella, one of the patrons of mothers, back there. And this one is St. Albert the Great. He's the secondary patron of the Archdiocese. St. Albert the Great. And up here, Pope St. Pius V. So, and he's got a plate in his hands with depicting the Battle of Lepanto.
How did you acquire it? If that's not you, right, it must be old.
That's a good question. I was going to mention that and forgot. So, Bishop Dolan's idea was to make St. Gertrude sort of a shrine of reparation to the saints for all of the for all that the Novus Ordo did when they were throwing out relics, throwing out statues. Most of these statues and pictures were rescued during that time. We had some people that would go out, and when this was just a mission basically, and Bishop Dolan wasn't even a resident priest here.
Right.
They'd go out,
Saving statues and
save these things. Yeah, I mean we've even got basically the whole body of one of the saints here, and not the entire body, but Saint Perpetua. Yeah, that is kept in a chest. We keep her actually in Our Lady's altar.
because she's a missile too, right?
Mhm.
Yes. Like, yeah.
Yeah. March 6th, I believe, is her feast day.
Yeah.
So she's one of the greater martyrs.
A great story for mothers too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So mothers should read that.
Yeah.
You can talk about that on your podcast. Here we've got St. Clare. She's kind of hidden away in a corner, but this is our Franciscan corner. So of course, St. Clare, who St. Francis gave the veil to, and then St. Francis here, and then Our Lady again. So this is actually the statue of Our Lady Help of Christians. And we've got the Mother of Perpetual Help in the corner, whose feast was just the other day, just a couple of days ago, and St. Mary Magdalene. You see the ointment at her feet that she anointed our Lord's feet. So going this way, we've got, this is where we set up our monthly shrine, I guess. But right now we're doing the 12 Sundays to St. Anthony, or 12 Tuesdays to St. Anthony and Our Lady of Perpetual Help. So we've got her up there for a few months, actually.
We were here and it was beautiful. We were here for home.
Oh, for the St. Anthony.
Yeah.
So we keep up here, going left to right. We've got St. Anthony, And that little chest down at his feet, that's where we keep all the intentions for the Tuesdays in his honor. So when people send in their intentions online or whatever, that's where we put them. Okay. Well, they're right there at his feet. So he's taking care of them all. So it's St. Anthony. The next one is St. Casimir. For years, it's funny, Bishop Dolan thought that was St. Louis, the King of France. And then he found out, I don't know how, but he was doing his research and he found out that was actually St. Casimir. Then the next one is St. Bernard of Clairvaux. And directly above the altar, of course, is St. Gertrude. You notice the three hearts on the reredos there? A parishioner made those. He does a lot of woodworking. In fact, this parishioner, he probably wouldn't want to be mentioned by name, but he did most of the woodwork. The stuff that, where the three saints on the right and the left, he did that woodwork, the gold leafing on it. He built the altar, put all the decorations on there, gold leafed it, and then built. So you see how the altar goes up and higher and higher.
Yes.
So he actually put all that together. Did all of it. So, and he carved the three hearts. At the top, of course, the Sacred Heart. Down to the left is the Sorrowful and Immaculate Heart, and on the right is the Pure Heart of St. Joseph. So he did all of those. Then the statues on the right, of course, St. Rita and St. Hedwig, and then St. Therese, of course. Everyone knows her. Here above the door, if you see that, above the doorway, that is Our Lady of the Missions. So we like to keep that here because obviously St. Gertrude has always been a sort of the one of Bishop Dolan's main apostolates was the foreign missions, and so he's always kept that there. I believe that a long-time faithful who lives in Illinois, I don't know, he might have been the one that acquired that and donated it to the church. In any case, moving on, St. Joseph's altar, and of course St. Patrick. This is my favorite altar when it's St. Patrick's Day and St. Joseph's month.
And you do masses at these altars?
We do sometimes do masses at these altars. Here, Father Leiterant has really promoted the devotion the first Wednesdays in honor of St. Joseph.
Oh,
Yeah, the first Wednesdays are devoted to St. Joseph. First, of course, prayers for priests. And of course, everyone's first Fridays and Saturdays.
I have noticed that here at St. Gertrude you do a lot of devotion.
We're the Church of Devotions.
You know,
Bishop Dolan set it up.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's important, I think. Obviously, our devotion should be founded on liturgical piety.
Right.
But the devotion is such an important part of people's spiritual life that it goes right along with the liturgical devotions.
Right.
So, we like to keep all the devotions for the people. Of course, we've got the Sacred Heart and the Holy Face, another big devotion here. And I particularly like that one as because of the promise that when we're devoted to the Holy Face, He'll settle all the affairs of our household. So we commend a lot to the Holy Face for here at church and for our families. Of course, Mother of Good Counsel again. And moving along here, we've got our Infant of Prague. We do the Fridays, several Fridays, I can't remember how many, in honor of the Infant of Prague. Got a nice little hymn to him and some devotions. Our Lady of Good Success here. And then we're moving into this is our baptistry, actually. But it serves as another chapel for masses. I like to use this one for the evening masses, but we're getting too many people that it's a little bit difficult now.
Yeah, we were at your evening mass,
Tuesday for the St. Anthony, and it was,
people were over here.
it's good.
But it was beautiful. It was so clean.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so intimate.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. No, it's nice, quiet mass over here. So we also put usually a monthly shrine here. So this being the month of the Sacred Heart versus the month of Pride Month.
Right.
Yes. So we keep the Sacred Heart busy. Actually, this parish, to give a little bit of the history, Bishop Dolan, our three main chapels when he first started, he dedicated to a certain mystery of our Lord or devotion. St. Gertrude's was to the Sacred Heart. The old St. Clare's in Columbus was to the 5 wounds of our Lord. And then St. Hugh of Lincoln in Milwaukee is devoted to the Holy Face. So those are the when he was starting missions, he had a way of naming his different missions. It was interesting. In Pennsylvania, he named them after the mysteries of the Rosary. In Ohio, it was after the women religious. So St. Gertrude the Great, St. Clare in Columbus. There was a mission, St. Margaret Mary. It's several in Ohio. Those are just the 3 that I can recall. So he had a method, a way of naming them. So this is our one neglected shrine, I would say. St. Catherine of Siena. And great saint, but she gets neglected over here in the corner. So Bishop Dolan put these candles here, hoping that it would attract people's attention. It still hasn't. Poor St. Catherine. People should come up and light more candles. Oh, good.
I saw it right away, and I was drawn to it. I thought it was St. Rita at first, and then I came over. So I have a special devotion to St. Rita, but I enjoy St. Catherine too. So then I lit my candle. I love the little prayer that was taped.
Yeah.
Taped there. So.
Yeah. So there. Thanks for visiting her. So this picture, I wish I had the exact history on, but Our Lady of Guadalupe, of course. I remember hearing Bishop Dolan say that this came from one of the churches in Cincinnati, the Basilica or something like that. It belonged to the bishop or archbishop at one time. So quite old.
Yeah.
So, but we've got this one. Yeah, We, yeah, it's kind of hidden. But it's another of our holy face ones. Rick Woods, he's a person, lives nearby. We visit him on the sick calls. And he spends a lot of his time doing paintings. He fixed this one up. It was really in bad shape at one point, and he did a lot of good fixing up on this. But of course, Mary Magdalene, when they bring back the image of the Holy Face, Saint Veronica.
Yeah. Maybe I'd like to have in my house.
So here we've got, of course, our baptismal font and St. John the Baptist above it. And confessional. This is actually a neat little devotional. We keep this is our confessional stole, and that's St. John. St. John Nepomucen. He's the patron saint of confessors and the seal of confession, because he heard, if I have all the details of his life right, he means confession. And the king or someone was trying to find out some confessional knowledge from him, and he refused. So he died a martyr for the seal of confession. So we keep him here. We've got Saint Anne back here in the corner. We kind of skipped some statues. We've got here Our Lady of the Rosary with Saint Dominic and Saint Catherine. And you see the little dog at the feet, the symbol of Saint Dominic. Dominicanis, the dog of our Lord. So we've got the Curé of Ars, and you only see him, I guess, from the side here. That statue was given to us, St. Leonard of Port Maurice. That was given to us years ago by Bishop Sanborn. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a skull. He preached in a time that the preachers were more stern. Obviously, for those times they needed that. So he's the one that wrote about the number of the saved. I have a different opinion on that from St. Leonard. You know, many theologians have written it, and there's different opinions on that. But he holds the more strict on that. He was, what I think is more important was he spread the devotion, I believe, of the Stations of the Cross in his time. That, to me, I think was his big contribution. He really preached the missions. St. Leonard of Port Maurice. He also wrote the book on the Mass and the Holy Eucharist called The Hidden Treasure. So that was another great contribution. Up here, along the walls, we've got St. Maria Goretti, the young martyr for holy purity. Very important for our times, I think. Oh gosh, I'm not going to remember now if that's St. Louis.
He looks like a Thomas.
I'm not sure who that is. Maybe on another time we'll have to put we'll have to post something.
Yeah.
And then of course Saint Mark the Evangelist all the way down there with the lion at his feet.
Sure.
And that is. Oh yes, thank you. So this one, very nice. Another one worth meditating on. So, of course, Our Lady, the saints in heaven. This is Pius the 11th, I believe. And these are all of the saints that he canonized. Mm-hmm.
St. Joan of Arc is in there.
Well, I guess it's probably not all.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But it's good enough.
I don't even know. Okay.
So, that's our church. We've got, I don't know if you want to see the school or any, well, right now it's probably not a good idea. We've got the girls' camp. It's a bit of a mess back there. So, we should go down the hallway down here. You, sir. Thank you. So there's our school, if you get a little shot of it, but so we keep our little bulletin boards updated. Well, this is Bishop Dolan those are pictures that we had up for his funeral. And then we just kept them back here. The Father Brueggemann and Father Simpson keep this updated. Of course, you boys know all about that. Knights of the Sacred Heart. The pictures from Father Cicada's funeral. We keep all of our... Father Laterana keeps his Sodality and the Oblate News over here, and school news back there, but now that's an original paper. When he was...
It's 1903.
That's an original newspaper. Kind of interesting.
Where's the paper from?
San Diego, yeah. I'm not sure how we came across that. So, but down here, all of the pictures for the different shrines, the daily shrines. So, we don't have all the saints, but we're working on it. So we've got them by month. Got them by month. We've got to go see this one. You know which one I'm talking about. Yeah. This one here. That's my favorite saint picture. That's on top here. It says, possibly the next saint to be named. Oh. So, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
So we'll show the sacristy. You want to see the sacristy? Yeah. I have to, though the sacristies, because of girls' camp going on right now, might not be the cleanest, but we're sort of, it's not bad, I guess. So this is the area where the priests vest. We keep our vestments. Let's see if I can find the old vestments here. These are, if they're still kept here, more of our antique vestments. There's one in particular I'm looking for. I think sisters moved it on me. So, it's actually a vestment from, too bad sister's not here to help me with this, or Father Brueggemann, but we keep, we did hide it. I'm only the bishop here, I don't know where things are kept. Maybe on our way back, if Father Brueggemann pops it. We've got, it's a red vestment from the French Revolution, actually. Then we've got another vestment back here that is interesting history, unless they moved it on me. Okay. Nope. It says right there. Read the directions. So this vestment is hand painted by a sister, and these belong to Cardinal Spellman at one time.
So do you ever wear these? Or do you just...
We wear these for some of the more solemn occasions.
Right.
You know, the pontificals. Epiphany's a good time when we wear it. Feasts of Our Lady, the Assumption.
So you don't just use them as...
Daily? No.
No, I mean just...
Sister, this is perfect. Sister, this is our sacristan, Sister Eulalia.
Hello.
And we're looking for the French Revolution vestment. It was there.
I don't know if I should touch it because I have paint on my hands.
There we go. Thanks, sister. So this actually came from the French Revolution.
Oh my.
So we use that up maybe once a year. We like to use that for the Feast of the North American Martyrs, because they were more or less, I mean, they were 1600s, but I mean, pretty close.
Wow. Yeah, we wondered if that would ever get used.
Yeah, well, once a year. They don't like to use it too much.
You know, in museums they put on gloves for stuff like that. To touch.
Yeah. So this is where the priest vests. This is our works sacristy, and also where the sister's cat hangs out sometimes. We like to keep it light back here. This is more for the thorifers. We've got our thorifer closet, candles, and then storage room. We don't need to show that one.
Your Excellency, is it true that you use different smells of the
The incense.
There's like 4 different perfumes?
We use, usually for every Mass, we use about 4 different incenses. And depending, the frankincense for the gospel usually, that's more so that the priest doesn't choke on the incense when he's trying to sing the gospel. So that one's a smoother incense. But we keep a lot of the floral incenses for Our Lady's feast days. Yeah, those are all of our durables. So I think that's about it.
Doug's an ultramodern.
Ah,
So when they lit the candles from behind, he was like, "Where are they?"
yeah.
Something magical
So-
was lighting that candle.
So you serve Mass? Nice.
Just started.
Just started.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Would it be a way to end it with a blessing? I could turn off after blessing.
Absolutely.
Maybe. Or you give it a review.
No.
Benedictio Dei omnipotentis, Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti descendat super vos et manet semper. Amen. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.